The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN just after 9 a.m. Eastern Time. About 24 minutes to go until the start of trading, and you got markets catching a bid. Check out the acceleration from where we were at about 4:30 a.m. this morning. Yeah, you're up by more than a percentage point from where we were at that time. You were negative by about half a percentage point, and we're positive now by 26 points, trading at 59.64. NASDAQ 100. Now, NVIDIA is catching a bid. Let's jump over to NVIDIA, because what's going on? The animal spirits are alive and well as of about 4:30 this morning. You drive from 140 all the way up to almost 150. Folks, they got 25 billion shares outstanding almost. You're talking about a run of 250 billion in market cap just from where we were at 4:30 this morning. We're up by more than $3 now. So NVIDIA, they're going to be up by about 2%. I'll show where 12 came from. What I was going to say is that the expected move was about $12. So you only got about a $3 move. So if you were selling volatility, we'll see how we open. But yeah, pretty much in line. We'll get into those numbers in a moment. But yes, that's driving a lot of the action. As you have the NASDAQ 100 up 0.6%, up 115 points at 20,864. The Dow up 165 or 0.4%, 43,683. And the Russell up by 15. How about Bitcoin? We're almost there. 100,000. Come on, you got to get your Bitcoin 100,000 hat out, right? Boy, you talk about a run, man. Bitcoin. You're up by 50% from where we were 2 weeks ago. Did you hear that, folks? Yeah. You're up by about 50% from where we were 2 weeks ago. Remarkable acceleration for Bitcoin. MicroStrategy pushing 542. Now, we've talked about this one. We got to talk about it. You're up by 50% where we were on Bitcoin 2 weeks ago. MicroStrategy, you'd be up $320 on a $220 stock. You're almost up 150%. Just be aware of it. If you are fortunate enough to be in this one, the leverage keeps going. The more MicroStrategy makes, the more they use that capital to buy more Bitcoin. But boy, you see why people buy and hold, right? Crude trading above $70. We're 70.11 right now, up $1.35. We jump over the gold contract. Gold continuing to catch a run. That's the lows last Thursday. A week later, we're pushing 26.76. You check out gold on a daily. Nice little pop going on. We are coming up to this 2,700 area in gold. That's where you peaked out late September in gold. We're at 26.69, and we got to talk about notes and bonds. We get back into a short-term time frame. And we got the 10-year right now sitting right at 4.4%. As the 10-year tries to figure out where we're going on yields, and the dollar holding up pretty well, bumping up against 107, 106.67, up by 56 ticks this morning. We check out the VIX. You got the VIX right now with this market trading higher, 1608 on the volatility index. All right, we jump over to NVIDIA. So we're waiting in the Tiger's Den last night. I finished my dad's show at 4 o'clock. And yeah, things seemed a little bit dire on the first move, right? You trade down to 139, you hold that move. These are 5-minute charts, 5-minute bars. You trade down. You did get up to almost 145 by the time the conference call began. And then you chopped around for the overnight session until things really started heating up. At about 4 a.m., you drive to 149. Now let's get over to their numbers. Come on, we got to scroll all the way up. The Blackwell chip is on track after forecast disappoints, is what they talk about here. Now, what's interesting is, I want to get into margins for a second, okay? Sales for the fourth quarter, about $37.5 billion. Above the average analyst estimate of 37.1, but look how high some of the high numbers were, 41. Okay, that's why you saw that initial spike lower. The accelerator chip, which helps develop AI models by bombarding them with data. Yeah, now I just want to get into margins. Come on. Here we go. Blackwell is now in full production. This is the new chip. This is the chip that the news broke on Monday that they're having a few problems with heat. It's overheating. They have to redesign the server racks a little bit late in the game. There's still appetite for Hopper, which was their previous chip, but Blackwell is in full production, and Blackwell is now in the hands of all of our major partners. See Microsoft, Tesla, Amazon, Meta. Blackwell has taken a toll on profitability. Now, this is what's going to be to watch as the future earnings come out, okay? The gross margin, their gross margin is bonkers. Not only are they doing, what did I just say, $37.5 billion is what they're calling for? Yeah, $37.5 billion. But they're taking 73% to the bottom line, folks, okay? The gross margin, and that's sales after deducting the cost of production, will dip to as low as 73%. That's a negative right now because it was 75 in the prior period. So margins, not as high as they were. 73 is okay. They want it back to the mid-70s, but you start seeing that dip lower, you better watch out in terms of the valuation of this equity, okay? The figure is expected to rebound when the new products reach larger scale production and the economics are more favorable. Now, when asked whether NVIDIA's gross margin could be back in the mid-70s by the middle of next year, the CFO said that's a reasonable assumption. But look how far ahead they are of everybody else. And I wonder how long they're going to be able to hold margins at 75%, okay? Its nearest rival, AMD, 20 points lower. Okay, still remarkable that you're talking about a margin of about 50. Intel isn't even half of NVIDIA's total. NVIDIA is not Intel, okay? But the two they're comparing it to are a number that's, 50% plus, and then NVIDIA's, 35 or 37, just cutting 75 in half. Watch out for potentially that margin creeping down as things ramp up, competition ramps up, costs ramp up. Yeah. Revenue rose 94% to $35.1 billion in the fiscal third. So as I mentioned, they're going to go up to 37.5 is the number they're looking for next quarter. Profit 81 cents. Company's trading at $150. They're making 81 cents a quarter. Yeah, data center unit. Revenue double from a year earlier at $30.8 billion. Man, you talk about it. Networking revenue within that unit declined sequentially, and business is more dependent than ever on a small group of customers. Microsoft, Amazon, yeah, Tesla's going to be in there too. Meta's going to be in there as well. And that is one of the worries of this story. But I wouldn't be too worried because they're driving the force. They're not going to stop spending. You've heard it from all the CEOs of the big tech companies. It's a once-in-a-generation opportunity. Zuckerberg is living and dying on what's going on. And yeah, they're all going to keep spending because it is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You see what happens with something like ChatGPT, right? Overnight, a sensation that practically changed everything. It changed the market, changed everything, right? Revolutionized things. That's coming across the board to everything. And they want to be the leaders. And the leader's going to get all the action. There's going to be no second place. And yeah, they're going to be competing, okay? But you get the point. Whoever's got the AI in control, the best AI, they're going to be the one everyone goes to. Stay tuned, folks. Markets in positive. We got a lot to talk about. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible to most people. They think it's too volatile and risky. Most people aren't going to take the time to educate themselves on how to do it right. But you're not most people, are you? At TFNN, you'll get the guidance you need to refine your strategies and techniques to invest like a pro. Because you'll be a pro. All TFNN subscriptions, books, software, and courses are available at TFNN.com. And I'm even going to tell you how to get them for less. Use TFNN's Tiger Dollars and you'll get up to a 20% bonus on your purchase. And once you apply them to your account, Tiger Dollars are automatically used for all future or recurring charges. Tiger Dollars also never expire, are fully transferable, and are a great way to add savings to your newsletters or services. Become the investor you were born to be at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This portion of the Morning Market Kickoff is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Welcome back, folks. We got markets in positive territory. S&P's up by 27 right now, jumping around to some of those AI components in terms of, we got NVIDIA earnings, but as I mentioned, you have Meta going to be open up by about 1%. You're $5 higher at 570 this morning. You jump over to Amazon shares. They're up by a couple dollars at 204, right where we were at the beginning of yesterday. Microsoft shares right now up to 417. You jump over to Google shares, trading at 176. Tesla shares pushing 343. I was watching Bloomberg early this morning, and Bloomberg had a chart of some of the tech companies, NVIDIA as well, on their PE. Man, Tesla is in a stratosphere of its own, folks. And I know I keep harping on it. And yeah, we had a short in Market Insights. You better believe we got out before the election, okay? But I'm keeping this one on my radar because, man, there's a lot of optimism priced into an equity that is now trading at a valuation of $1.1 trillion on a PE basis. And, yeah, for what it's worth. Now, NVIDIA, they're nowhere near the hope and dreams of Tesla in terms of the realities there. But be careful on Blackwell and any disruptions because they are priced for very few abilities to have any mishaps. And that's what gets worrisome when you're pushing, and you're going to be pushing, okay? You're going to be pushing. What are we at? We're only $15 away. 3.65 trillion, folks. 3.65. What is Apple pushing right now? Are we going to be above them? Yeah, we're $200 billion above Apple now. NVIDIA back on the top slot. Apple shares this morning, they're going to be flat at about 229. All right, let's talk a little economic data. We got initial jobless claims this morning, decreasing by 6,000 to 213,000 in the week ended November 16th. The market was looking for about 220. The more important number is the bottom of this chart, folks. Continuing claims. That's on an uptrend, undeniable. Okay, look where we were in September. Look where we are now. Higher highs, higher lows is the number. And that number came in a little bit above expectation. Yeah, a little bit. So we get 1.908 is the exact. We're at 1.91 million. That's continuing claims, which is 1 week delayed versus initial. It's up from 1.872 million last week, and it's about 25,000 more than the market was looking for. The market was looking for 1.88 million continuing claims. You come in at 1.91. That miss doesn't matter. If the trend, though, is to higher continuing claims, higher unemployment, we'll see what happens. Now, we get a little Fed speak today as well. We get Cleveland Fed President Beth Hammack, Chicago Fed President Austin Goolsbee, Kansas City Fed President Jeff Schmid, Fed Vice Chair and for Supervision Michael Barr. They're all going to deliver remarks today. So keep your eye on that. And that's following you had Michelle Bowman warning yesterday that the fight to bring inflation back to the central bank's 2% target appears to have stalled. That last mile, it's always the one. They talked about it when inflation was at 8%. They said, don't worry about getting back to 6% or 5 or 4. Worry about getting back from 4 to 2, from getting to 3 to 2. We're probably somewhere around 2.75, 2.5, maybe 3.5, depending on where you are. Can we get back to 2? If you have longer-term inflation running at 2%, that means that sometimes you're going to overshoot it, sometimes you're going to under it. Maybe you'd have 1.75, maybe you have 2.25. We're not there yet. That's not what's happening just yet. You look at the lags you have, right? When we get, if you watch this show enough, folks, we've talked about it. The wage numbers that you get when we get employment numbers, I was jumping around different stories here. The wages that you get when you get employment numbers are still up dramatically. I'll have to look up those last numbers again, but I think it's something like if you stay in the same job, you're getting a 4.5% raise. If you change jobs, you're getting a 6 or 7% raise. You better believe that those are inflationary across the board. And then, yeah, we have rental prices that are going to be lagging to the upside as well, contributing. So it's going to be a battle as we move forward. You jump over to yields right now. Now, that number, updated, we were sitting at about 4.4. Let's see where we are right now. You're looking at a yield of 4.41, we'll call it. You put that on a daily. And yeah, we get the move on the election, and that's all we've had, folks. Okay, and that move on the election just got us back what we did 2 days prior. I keep harping on it, but wait for the moves to show. You know, we're at critical levels right now. Okay, you look where we are on the dollar. Wait for a trend to begin. Right? What's it going to do? The market's trying to figure it out. We're all trying to figure it out. What's the reality going to be of tariffs, tax cuts, etc.? What is going to come first? Right? Are deportations, mass deportations, going to spread fear on day one? These are the things the market's waiting for a little indication of what is going to be where. Right? But look at the critical levels we're at. Keep your eye on the dollar at this 106.5 to 107 level. Keep your eye on yields that have been approaching the 4.5% level on the 10-year, right? We're right back to where we were at the lows of 2022 on the 10-year. That's a critical area. Yes, we got a little bit lower back a year ago, all right? But no real move just yet on the 10-year, and the dollar is a little bit higher from where we were on the election. Okay, dollar's a different story. There's where we were on the election. We did have a follow-through to the upside on the dollar. So the market's saying, you know, dollar strength is holding. Yields have not really changed yet since Trump came into office. And we have a market that's basically chopping around as well. We're just right where we were middle of October, folks, in this S&P. So similar action, trying to figure it out. Now, decent earnings from NVIDIA. And we're going to see where we come in for this holiday season, right? Because Target was a shock yesterday. We're going to be up $1 today, open at 122 and change from 121.72 yesterday. Kohl's was lower yesterday. Yeah. We're going to be up by 4 pennies today, trading at 16.31. TJ Maxx, a different story. And, you know, I talk about anecdotal, folks. TJ Maxx, Yeah, what do they have? They have home goods in there. What brands? We'll have to look at. I'm going to look at exactly what brands they have in there because it's quite a divergence of charts. Right? Look at this long-term chart of TJ Maxx, man. There's no signs of weakness whatsoever in that equity. You compare that to something like a Kohl's, my goodness. I mean, you really want to see something scary. Compare it to a Macy's. Yeah. We'll jump around to some of those retailers when we get back. This market, the animal spirits are alive and well. We get the S&Ps pushing highs. We're up by 33 points right now. We're coming back from NVIDIA's open. NVIDIA pushing 150 on the open. We'll come right back, folks.
The consistency you're looking for is closer than you think. 1 or 2 adjustments are usually all you need to change your equity curve from red to green and keep it there. Come join Larry Pesavento live to learn what separates the winners from the losers. Join Larry Pesavento on the 2nd and 4th Friday of every month for 3 hours of live trading from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time, where Larry will show you the market setting up and, most important of all, the state of mind of a winning trader. By watching Larry trade, you'll learn the Fibonacci levels, you'll learn how to apply A to B to C to D trading patterns, you'll learn trade management, pattern recognition, and much more. Join Larry October 11th and 25th for more live trading action. Your purchase goes towards 2 sessions, so make sure to sign up now so you don't miss a chance to sit next to Larry as he trades the market live. For all information and to reserve your spot today, go to the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. We get the S&Ps up by 26. We put it back to a 5-minute chart. We're trading at 59.61 right now. NASDAQ 100 up by 100. We jump over to NVIDIA on the open, pushing 149.70 right now. And yeah, look at that. Within 7 pennies of the all-time high. And we just got it. There we go. All-time highs for NVIDIA. 150 on the dot. How about it? Nice and simple on that chart. 150 on the dot. We're up by 2.75%. And yeah, you're talking about a company, biggest company in the world, pushing $3.7 trillion. I think this stock needs 163 to get to 4 trillion? Wasn't that long ago that we didn't have a $1 trillion company? Remember that for the valuations of things. Wasn't that long ago that we had never had a $1 trillion company. And now we're pushing 4 trillion, and they're everywhere. And I say everywhere as in Apple, right? We're going to be pushing 3.5 right now. Where are we? 3.47 trillion. Microsoft, 3.1 trillion. And then what's remarkable is Amazon and Google they're getting lapped. Amazon's at 2.1. You see how I just almost left off the 1? I was going to say 2 trillion. They're 2.1 trillion. That's an extra 100 billion in market cap. And Google around the similar area as well. So you can now have Amazon and Google for the price of NVIDIA. A little bit more expensive, but it's remarkable in that context. Now, jumping back to TJX, that's what I thought too. And thank you to our man Al, my producer, getting it done. TJX, they have Marshalls. You gotta put Marshalls in here somewhere, man. Marshalls is such a marquee of that company, I feel like, TJ Maxx. I'm going to try and find... Yeah, because they were just out with the numbers, and I wonder... They spike lower, but you hold on to it. You're right where you were on Tuesday. But I wanted to see what the numbers are for actually... And I'm just looking through some of the press releases. I'll look at it at the break. Marshalls is a great company, folks. And they're probably in a sweet spot right now. You look at the brands they have. TJ Maxx, of course. Marshalls, Home Goods, Sierra, Winners, HomeSense, TK Maxx. Not familiar. And they go down the line. Their namesake, TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Home Goods. Not as familiar with going down the line here. But the difference is, Marshalls, man, Marshall's got great brands. I used to buy so much good polo in Marshall's at a fraction of the price of what they had at Macy's. And right now, when people are trying to save money, that's a good spot to be in. Versus Target's going to struggle. And I talk about, man, I try and spend nothing when we go to Target. We go to Target sometimes and we just walk around. I'll grab a coffee. I spend more at Starbucks than I will at Target because Tommy runs around in the toy section. He's 3 years old. You know, it's, yeah. A little bit with the market, but nonetheless. And you jump back to NVIDIA shares. Look at this thing, man. We just traded up to 152. Oh, baby. Watch out. We're up by $4.63, but look at these spikes you're going to get. We just got $2 up, $2 down. Folks, that's $50 billion in market cap. Up, down, in the matter of a moment. When you're pushing $4 trillion, the market cap moves on this equity are remarkable. All right, now, we talked about $4 trillion, right? We talked about the reason why I went through this. It's good. We talk about $4 trillion. We talk about Apple at $3.4 trillion. We talk about Microsoft at 3.1. Google at, 2.1, and Amazon at 2.1. And you think about Buffett even selling his Apple a little bit prior to maybe some of the recent run-up. But it's just one thing you want to factor in, okay? If the animal spirits were all going higher, if deregulation of the banks, Buffett loves banks. Okay, you don't think he'd be getting in on the action? This is just stuff that I find myself thinking about on a fundamental perspective, okay? He's got $1/3 trillion sitting around, and he doesn't want to do anything with it at these price levels, right? That's got to mean something to him. Whether he's right or wrong, that's for you to decide as an investor. But yeah, you're pushing $1/3 trillion, okay? The ratio of the stock market's value relative to the size of the U.S. economy is at a record high. And he likes to look at that gauge. So I just wanted to touch on it because look at the cash pile he had. Look at the cash pile he had prior to the financial crisis. Okay. He deployed some over periods of time in 2022. But you're talking about law. He's taking it off the table, and that's cash as a percentage of total assets. He is sitting at almost 30% cash. Yeah. 1% in 1994 to close to 28% cash today. Yeah, and look at how he does it. So during the bubble, he grew it to 13% from just 1%. Well, now it's at 28%. Yeah, and he drew it down to 3%. He's not used to being at 30% cash, folks. You know, he grew that allocation to 13% in 1998. That was him tightening up the ship at 13%. What do you think he's doing when he's at 30%? And then he pivoted again in the run-up to the 2008 financial crisis. Okay, he's looking at longer-term trends. He knows the market's going to be volatile on a longer-term basis, and he's selling when times are really good. What did our man Dave White say? Sell when you can, not when you have to. Great line, right? Man, you just learn so much with experience, folks. You've been through the market enough. You get that line. Sell when you can, not when you have to. Okay, and that's what Buffett does. He sells when he can, not when he has to. Because when everybody else has to, he's the one coming in and buying at remarkable low prices when people are in need. And so anyway, for what it's worth, right, you look at those valuations, you look at Buffett sitting there on a pile of cash that is unmatched, and you look at the valuation that he looks at, the size of the stock market versus the relative value of the economy, and we're at highs across the board. And so he's seeing something, and he's not worried about missing out, because for his comparison, okay, it's expensive right now. And that's putting it lightly in terms of where he looks. The S&P 500 index's dividend yield is 1.3%, and its most recent 12-month buyback yield was 1.8%. As for earnings, analysts expect sales to grow by about 4% a year. Yeah. And as for valuation, the S&P 500 trades at 25 times forward earnings, compared with an average of 18 times since 1990. To get back to the average, the valuation would have to contract by about 3% a year for 10 years. Did you hear that? Yeah. And there's the forward price to earnings ratio of the S&P 500 index. Your average is in black. And that's the chart that we wanted to get to in this story. Because that says it all, folks, all right? You got the 2000 bubble, where we were. This is not the 2000 bubble, but, man, remarkable that the forward price earnings ratio of the S&P 500 was barely 30 at a time. And I say that because there were companies that had forward price to earnings ratios that were fantastical, right? Is that even a word? But, yeah. Ooh, what happened there in the span of about 2 minutes that I was talking? Look at these markets. Whoa. S&Ps dropping out of the sky. All right, we're going to jump around. We got the S&Ps. We just traded down 50 points. We're off by 14. NVIDIA lower. We're coming back for the action, folks. Don't go away.
Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks. So we got people selling this market right now. Look at Meta. Just drove down $13. We're off by 1.5%. Markets were in the positive. What's remarkable here is you have NVIDIA actually in the green still. All right, we were up to 152.89. You just dropped $6, which is $150 billion in market cap for NVIDIA. Not to keep stressing it, but massive gyrations of volatility for such an expensive company. But NVIDIA is actually positive. And then you jump around everything else. Amazon, negative by 1.2%. As I mentioned, Meta, off by 1.3% right now. Google shares, off by 4.5% right now. Apple shares, they drop a full percentage point. So everything else getting hit. NVIDIA gets hit from their high, but they're still positive after their numbers. But everything else across the board. AMD sells lower, off by 0.5%. Intel shares, off by 0.4%. Tesla shares, they're in the green, 342. But man, some of these buyers of all those NVIDIA chips, Apple off by 3.7. And how about Google, man? Google off by 4.5% to 169.46 for Google shares. And remarkable, the Nasdaq's only down 70 points when you look at what I just went through for the size of those companies and where they are. Whew. All right, we jump around to what else we have going on in this market. We talked about all of Buffett's cash. Yeah, this one hit last night when I was on the air, and you got Adani getting charged $250 million bribery case. Not surprising. When there's been allegations that Hindenburg short, seemed like there was something there. With the smoke, there's sometimes fire. But yeah, they were paying $250 million to secure billions of dollars of government contracts in India. That one's going to play out as it has. And those have been around for a while. Yeah, we talked TJ Maxx. I was trying to find the exact numbers. The numbers they came out with recently, I mean, they're strong numbers, but they don't break down exactly how much is Marshalls. And I wonder how much is Marshalls. I'm a big fan of Marshalls. But nonetheless, they came in for TJ Maxx, quarterly sales of $14 billion, man. That is quite a number. Yeah, we talked about all those. All right, in terms of what else we have moving right now. What do you had? You had Snowflake moving big last night. Is it snow? Yeah, it is. Check out that one, right? Big earnings for them last night. You're up 29%. And boy, you talk about it. Looking like we're on our way back to 232. You bottom out at 107. This thing. Yeah, you double top at $350 to $400. Remarkable how many companies, right? That steep sell-off from late 2021 to the lows of 2022. But boy, that's a bid for them. They're up by $37 for Snowflake. Yeah, so let's talk a little bit of crypto, man, because this is what I just keep talking about with MicroStrategy. You're up by another 11% today. And listen, this is it's like a super leveraged Bitcoin ETF. Okay, it's a super leveraged Bitcoin ETF. As long as you understand that, you're all set. Just understand the risks you're playing with. And don't think that if Bitcoin pulls back 30% that you're going to be okay because of the leverage you're dealing with. In an equity like this that just goes from 220 to 520 since November began. Right? Now, crypto is levered to the gills. All right? And that's basically everywhere. All right? And this is somebody in the space. The last thing you want to be talking about is not saying that the future is bright. We're only going to go higher. Okay? We're about to hit 100,000. And yeah, now you even have CEOs in the digital space talking about the fact that just like at six figures feels inevitable, it's probably going to hit 100 grand at this point. Okay? There's a ton of leverage in the system right now. The crypto community is levered to the gills, and so there will be a correction. MSTR is the best example of that, folks. Okay? You have a company now that's valued at $120 billion. Okay? Now, the amount of Bitcoin they own, and this is probably going up. I looked this up earlier in the week. And so they're now a Fortune 100 company, okay? Yeah. They have about 331,000 Bitcoin. And here's the kicker, though. 331,000 Bitcoin at 100,000 per Bitcoin is only $33 billion of worth. Well, the reason why the company is worth $120 billion is because of the leverage that they have going on. So just remember that, and remember that it's everywhere right now. Yeah, and you see why. I mean, the story, and that's the one I had up there earlier in the week, is that they were buying another $4.6 billion worth of Bitcoin, even as it was at 90,000. Well, guess what? They just made 10% on that transaction this week alone. 97,905 for Bitcoin. Now we jump over to Ethereum. Check it out. The animal spirits are in Bitcoin right now. We keep talking about it. They're kind of everywhere in this market, though, because they're not predicated off of things that have happened yet. They're predicated on what's going to happen with the future administration, potentially. You got Ethereum. There's plenty of traders that are still in Ethereum in a losing position, right? Whether you go back to the highs of March of this year, you put it on a weekly, Ethereum was pushing 4,800 back in 2021. So yes, there are other cryptos flying. I'm sure Doge is doing well. I haven't looked at them, but they have a whole government area named after that crypto coin now, Doge. But keep your spikes up, man, because to load up at this level on Bitcoin with leverage everywhere and hitting that nice round 100,000 number, and you don't always have to hit it, folks, okay? Yes, I think I would. But if you're ever thinking about scaling in, this would be the perfect spot. If you're ever thinking about, let's say you're thinking about going short here, and I'm not saying to short Bitcoin right now, man, because it hasn't slowed down yet and it's got 100,000. I'm not saying to short it. But you could always start with a position, right? Because, yes, we all think it's going to hit 100,000, and sometimes when everybody thinks so, maybe it doesn't, right? I'm speaking obvious facts, but keep them in mind. You could always start a short to a certain degree just to make sure if there's a cascade, because you know, you look at something like Google today, okay? You look at that drop on the open, $8, just like that. You think that's fast. Wait till you see how Bitcoin might move if you really start getting some rip-roaring pullbacks. Maybe, you know, the sky is the limit right now on Bitcoin. What could they say that would be better than everything that's been said in terms of the promises of the future, the administration? Now it has to become a reality. Can they over-deliver? I think they've pushed the promises almost as far as you can go with crypto right now. How do you over-deliver? Well, then the risk goes, well, can they under-deliver? Yeah, there's a possibility they can under-deliver, and that Bitcoin might not be at 100,000 longer term in the next year if you started off the year at 70,000. Look at this market, man. Yeah, keep your stops tight in this market. There's no reason. We're going to get some volatility coming down the line, man. We got 2 months until Trump is in. You're going to get volatility. Keep those stops tight. We'll see. We got markets back in the green. Just like that. One more segment. We'll come right back, folks.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. We got the S&Ps negative by 2, trading at 59.36 as this market tries to figure out which way it wants to go right now. You have NVIDIA shares flat. If you sold volatility on NVIDIA, that was the play, at least as of this morning, within pennies of where you closed yesterday at 146 right now, and that's holding up pretty well. When you look at some of these other equities, Apple shares down by 0.2% right now. Google, the real acceleration, off by 4.2%. Meta shares down by 1.4%. Amazon down by a full percentage point as well. Yeah, you jump over to some of those movers and shakers. Snowflake not stopping, man. Up by 31%, $40 to $169 from $130. You talk about a run, man. Target up by 1.4% after their decline yesterday. You jump over to Walmart shares, up by about 0.5%. We check in on Kohl's. Longer term, man, this thing just looks rough. I will say I've been into Kohl's recently, and they got plenty of lines, man. But that chart, whew, look at the longer term on Kohl's. Yeah. How about back to where you were in 1997? Remarkable. Check out Macy's. Back to 2008. These big retailers, and Kohl's is a big retailer. They got expensive products. They got Nikes that are not cheap. I'm always kind of amazed when I go into a Kohl's, and that's where the discrepancy. And not to bring it all back and harp on, but I know when I go into a TJ Maxx, I'm getting bargains on great brands. I go into Kohl's, I'm paying top price for great brands. It's a tough one right now if you're competing, paying top price with who you're competing with. All right, we'll finish it up with NVIDIA as we are up by 40 pennies as this market jumps around everywhere. Folks, thanks so much for kicking off your Thursday right here with me. Stay tuned. We got our man Basil Chapman coming up next. Don't forget, Larry Pesavento. He's got a live trading session going on tomorrow. You can check that out on the front page of TFNN. You can sign up. You gain access to 2 live trading sessions. You save $50 on the first month. Just use that code right on the front page. And stay tuned for Basil. Have a great Thursday, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.